Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you. And I think you'll have to listen. Because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so bright, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now I know. Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled
who
to
are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Happy Mother's Day to all you guys, to everybody. Let's come on in here on these Mother's Day on a Sunday. All right. Happy Mother's Day, Freddie. Shauna says everyone and happy Mother's Day to every mother of the mother. Aries 1 is in the building. Good morning, good afternoon. Good afternoon, because it is like 1:00 p.m. here. So, mods in chat, she say happy Mother's Day. She said mids. Did you call them mids? Midgets? She probably meant an O, and she clicked on the I. But she say happy Mother's Day. Next level in the building. She said happy Mother's Day, and all the ladies in the chat. She said mods. I got you. Next level is in the building. She said Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. All right. Next level came with the word. She came with the word this morning. She said, be still and know that I am God. Next level, you know what? That's good that you said that. I needed that. Thank you. Thank you for that. How to have surgery, left hand to have surgery last. How to have surgery, left had to have surgery last night evening. It was about 6. Oh, wow, really? Shauna, you doing okay? She had to have surgery last night, you guys. Probably to her left hand, something like that. I don't know. She said she had to have surgery. All right, Leisure's in the building. She says, "Hey SP, happy Mother's Day. All glad to glad to stumble over here. Yeah, we came on. I tell you guys, on her uterus. Okay, I don't know. Pain in the uterus. Okay, Perlans. I don't know what a Perlans is, but pain to the uterus. Okay. Okay, so we know it's Mother's Day, you guys, and I was gonna come on yesterday, but you guys know I had a garage sale. Did very, very well in the garage sale. She said a prolapse uterus. Oh, really? I'm sorry to hear that. That must be painful. What, your uterus just fall down? What have you been doing, Shauna, that your uterus just fall out? To have a prolapse uterus. That sounds like you've been doing something. Prolapse uterus. Prolapse uterus. Occurs when the uterus and the part of the upper vagina drops into the vagina canal. It's a type of pelvic organ, I know, prolapse, and it is usually caused by damage to the structures that supports the uterus. It's more common in women who have had vaginal births. She said, "Yes, man. Like I went to the bathroom though. I was having a baby. Did you have the baby? See, when people tell me, hey Sanjay, happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day." She said, "Just got out of church. Can't stay long." Okay, well, as long as you came in and you spoke and you said, "Hello, happy Mother's Day to you." Everybody's having their Mother's Day. I'm waiting on my daughter to come. She's going to be here in an hour. So I said, let me jump on. And you guys, I was thinking, because I was feeling a little sad a little bit because, I normally celebrate other people's mothers and things of that nature, my husband's mom and then my son's girlfriend, her, she's a mom. I normally say something to her and this, that, and the other. She said, 3 or 4 children. Did you get older? They said happens a lot. 3, 4. Well, yeah, if that's what I said. I just knew you had to have some kids or something was going on. Unless somebody was knocking your box out of whack. You got with a horse or something. I mean, somebody that got something like a horse or whatever. You guys know what I'm saying without saying it. I said, shoot, you either had you a stallion or you got you a whole bunch of kids over there. Because that's how your uterus drop. Yeah. You got you a stallion or you got a whole bunch of kids. It's one or the other. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It just don't fall because it just fall. But anyway, I don't know that much about it, but I was, studying birth and labor. I'm not a birth nurse or labor nurse, but I did kind of get off into it a little bit. Not that much. She said, Freddie said, or had a big baby. Yeah, had a big baby. Some of them babies weighing 8, 10, 12 pounds. People be like, oh, he was 12 pounds and 2 ounces. I'd be like, God, that's a whole child. You birthed a whole child? She said, I'm 46 and have 3. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness, girl. You still having kids? Oh, my God. You shoot, when I was 46, when I was 22, 26. When I was 36, my kids, I had my kids late. I started having my kids at 26. And then, so my first child was 26. So when I was 36, my child was 10. I done had 2 kids. And that's all the kids I done had. I had 2. She said, God, no. Well, you know what I'm saying? And all my kids were small. But anyway, you guys, I normally don't celebrate Mother's Day, but like I said, I normally buy for other mothers, my mother-in-law, and things like that. This year, I did not buy for my mother-in-law. I know y'all gonna think I was feeling some kind of way about it now that it's here, and I didn't get her nothing. And but at the end of the day, my daughter's a mother, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna get something for my daughter because my daughter is a mother. And people be like, thank you. It's not like I have to do these things. So I'm getting out of a condition that, I still feel some kind of way, but now I don't. Because, like I said, my daughter always come over, Mom, I got you something for Mother's Day. Even though whatever she got me, she'll give me some candles, some smell goods. She'll give me a flower that'll die within a week. She'll get that. But the thing about Mother's Day is, because I tell her, don't waste your money. Really, don't waste your money. I like the candles and stuff and the smell good she get me. But in all reality, I'm happy that my daughter thinks of me. My son came over this morning. He was like, hey, Mom, I'm because I had this big garage sale yesterday. We only had it one day. I paid for 3 days and we only had it one day. We had it Saturday. And it kicked my butt. I woke up and my whole back was hurting. My whole back felt like I just had a baby and my uterus dropped and I had a prolapsed uterus. That's how bad a pain I was in. I felt like I just had a baby vaginally. I was like, oh my God. Or I don't know. I'm just saying. She said she had a 6-pound, 13-ounce baby. I just can't imagine a baby bigger than that. Girl, none of my kids weighed over 6 pounds. And they think when you have a child that's I think it's under 6 pounds, 5 pounds or something like that. I think it's 5 or something. But they say that the baby is, little, preemie or whatever. My babies were so small. They were just little bitty babies. She said, wow, you didn't have to tell nobody that. What do you mean? What do you mean, Shauna? Really, you don't? What? What? What did I say? I say something wrong? Please tell me if I said something wrong. I'm just saying. Girl. What? Shauna feeling some kind of way. Don't be feeling some kind of way, Shauna. Don't be feeling some kind of way. What did I say? I was just guessing. Did I guess right? Because I didn't want to hit a nerve. If I hit a nerve, sometimes you know how you can play with somebody and you might hit a point, and then they be like, "Really, girl? Did you really?" I'd be like, "I really was just saying it as a joke, but it is true." But I mean, I don't know, Shauna. I don't know. I don't know if you was with a stallion. I don't know. I had 2 stallions in my life. I told them to go home. 2 stallions. I said no. No, 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 no. No. People be like, oh yeah, I want it like that. No, no, I do not. No, I do not. I don't know if that's the case. I was just talking. I wasn't trying to. She said, my body felt like I had something bigger than a 6-pound baby. Girl, My little 4-pound baby took me to a whole different, my whole persona, my perception, everything was just run. But remember, my daughter, when she started coming out, my first child, wanted to pull everything down with her. She was like, "You're never going to have any more kids." And then she was coming out backwards. She was coming out feet first, holding on to everything in her power. Man, did you get your mother-in-law another? No, I didn't get her anything. I didn't get my mother-in-law anything. Let me tell you something. I buy for my mother-in-law every year. And they say, "Thank you." You got to remember, I'm a mother too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to say this, you guys, and it is true. Did you need a pillow? Girl, you think I didn't? Girl, I needed a whole bunch of pillows. They ended up doing emergency C-section because the nurse did not call it right. She was thinking, she actually came to the room and said that I had been watching too many movies and I was only my cervix or whatever it was dilated to a 3 and I had to go to a 10. I told her, "Baby girl, let me tell you something." My mama was in there with me. And I told her, if this is a level 3 pain or a C, centimeter C, whatever, 3, ABC 3, whatever, we're not going to make it to a 10. We're not going to make it to a 10. This is what I told the nurse. So, with that being said, no, Rebecca, I never get nothing in return. And I really don't want anything in return. It just started being like, that was just the way it was going to be from now on. Like, you buy mama Mother's Day gift, she say thank you to her son. She's smiling and grinning, and everybody kiki. And then I'm sitting over here by myself on Mother's Day, and it went on for, my mother's been gone since 2020, 2010. My mother's been gone since 2010. Yeah, my mother's been gone since 2010. And I just cry on Mother's Day. I would just cry. I wouldn't, even when we were doing YouTube, I would tell them I'm always sad on Mother's Day. I don't even want to go to church because everybody's like, "Happy Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day. We're doing a Mother's Day program." And everybody's kiki and happy and smiling and everything. And I just didn't want to be around that. I don't want to be sad and playing like I'm happy. I'm not happy. I'm okay. Y'all can be happy, but I'm not. I wasn't happy. Like, I just, like, I don't want to rain on everybody else's parade. So just leave me alone. Well, they couldn't leave me alone. So my husband was like, "You're coming to church on Mother's Day." So I would go to church and everything, everybody would be he happy and stuff. And then they would do Mother's Day. And then I felt worse then than I did when I came in, because they was like, the husbands go to your mothers or go to your wives, and they had all these roses, and give these roses to your mother, to your wife, or whatever. Some of the men had came in there, they didn't have mothers, or they didn't even have a wife, and they was standing in up there. And so they was like, "If you a mother, stand up." So all the women in the church stood up. I stood up because I'm a mother. I stood up. And so they told the men, the pastors, the men that worked in the church, or, was, in some kind of leadership or whatever, to go give the roses out to the women. that was standing. And basically, especially you guys that has wives that's standing, go give these roses out. Okay. Y'all not gonna believe this, but I'm gonna tell it like the TI is. I bet my husband would not want me to tell you guys this story, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Are you guys listening? Put a 1 in the chat if you are listening. See, because sometimes people don't really tell you what really happens in a marriage, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth if you guys want to know. Let me get in the chat because I can't see you guys. It's Woke the God said, tell us the truth. I want to know what happened. So, okay, because Woke the God is the only one in here that want to know. Really? Okay, Woke the God. I'm glad you in here. So the men, Rebecca said, I want to know. Let me tell you. So the men, okay, Freddie said, tell us. The men stood up and they went out into the pews, the congregation. My husband is a pastor, so he was up there. He's one of the 3 that they have, 3 or 4. Anyway, nevertheless. And then there's junior clergies or whatever they are. I don't know what all they do. I just don't get off into it like that. I wasn't raised Pentecostal. I just really wasn't raised Kojic. I think I've been Kojic all my life, but like I said, I'm Baptist more anything. But anyway, nevertheless, you would have thought, she said, because I'm nosy. That's okay, I'm nosy too. You would have thought my husband would have came and gave me a rose, right? Because his mother wasn't there. But I was there. And, honey, I'm thinking my husband's going to come and give me a rose. No, he didn't. He went to this other woman and gave her a rose. We had been married maybe the first year, second year. I think it was the first year. And he gave her a rose. So this Mexican guy, he came up to me and he said, ma'am, can I give you a rose? My mother's gone and I don't have a wife. Can I give you a rose? And I said, you sure can. And he gave me this rose. Fine Mexican man, fine. When I say he was fine, he was fine. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? Hey, had I not been married, I would have said you could have gave me more than that. Let me have your baby. He was fine. Okay? Oh my goodness, he was fine. He wasn't, Mexican men is usually short. He wasn't that short. He didn't have this big fat face, Oh, he was fine. And then after he gave me the rose, he gave me this hug. And see, I'm short. I'm like only about 5'2". He was probably like 5'10", 5'11". He gave me a hug. And I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? We in the church. She said, I just put a 1. All right. She said, I just put a 1. I see you, Shauna. He gave me this hug. And then they went on back up there to the front or whatever. My husband was sitting there looking at me all funny. The people in the church was looking at me all funny because they know who my husband is. And they was wondering, because like I was wondering, why you didn't come and give me a rose? I got kids. I'm married to you. Why you ended up giving a whole woman over here a rose? And he told me he gave her a rose because he knew nobody would give her a rose. We didn't talk about it at church. We waited till we got home. And I was like, why you didn't come give me a rose, honey? He was like, you got a rose. I said, no, you went somewhere else and gave somebody that you don't even know a rose Why you didn't come give your wife a rose? You mean another man had to come and give me a rose? He said, you got one. I know what y'all saying, girl. You a better person than me. You think I wasn't hot? Exactly, Niecy. You think I wasn't mad? I couldn't understand it. And I thought to myself, wow, what if that man wouldn't have came up and gave me a rose? I would have been standing there looking like dum-dum, the only pastor wife that didn't get a rose. You know, and I'm going to tell you something. That's the last time I went to church on Mother's Day. Like I said, I felt bad coming in the first place. But I didn't even get a rose from my husband. So I really felt bad in front of everybody at church. So, girl, please, when he talk about you going to church on Mother's Day, you coming, come on, you coming. I be like, no, I'm not. You go. I told you, when there's some disrespect, you won't see me no more. That we're not going to be in church and people looking and smiling at me. We just ain't going to do it. We're not going to do it. It ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? I'm so glad that you guys can't see me. Because in all reality, life goes on. I'm walking around the whole house right now. And after having this garage sale, hold on. After having this garage sale, it's all in a bad situation. You guys understand what I'm saying? Like everything is out of place. That's why I was saying, I'm glad that you guys can't see what's going on because I'm trying to clean up at the same time that I'm talking to you guys. So, you never know what you're gonna, be able to see, the mail or something, Anyway, I wanted to come on here and I'm gonna tell you guys the reason why. Now just listen to me for a minute. So I was sitting back and I got my daughter a little flower. It's beautiful flower. It costs some money too. I had to put it on my credit card. That's how much money it costs. I just didn't have that kind of change in my purse. So it wasn't nothing cheap. Anyway, and I did not know how much it would cost, but it was so pretty. I said, oh, that is such a beautiful flower. It's beautiful. I should have took a picture of it. I haven't took a picture of it yet, but I am going to take a picture. But this is how I think, you guys. And I don't know if this is the right thing to say, or I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think of it like this. They keep saying that NaZiyah was pregnant. Now, I don't know if she was pregnant or not, but if she was pregnant, she would be by now having the baby or had the baby. Because, so she wasn't pregnant in September. So it would have been October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So she would have been already had the baby July. She would have had the baby in July. So she would be a mother. Right? No? Hold on. She came up missing January the 24th. But she's supposed to be pregnant like not September, but October. So she would have been pregnant October. I really, you guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't think she was pregnant. I don't know why. I just don't believe she was pregnant because she said she went to the doctor in September and she wasn't pregnant. And he seemed confused, like, we didn't do it like that. He was like, I didn't nut in you. Like, Why would you need a plan? You know, like, no, we didn't do nothing. But he don't, you know, it probably couldn't have showed up in September. So he thinking, well, is she telling me she is, then shh. But I don't think, you know, because she was complaining about the baby and carrying the baby and trying to do gym stuff with the baby. Well, honey, you would have been only but October, November, December. You would have been only but 3 months. You wouldn't even been really showing. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a lot for me to believe just because somebody's having a conversation and they're not finishing the conversation, it's not making sense. She said, well, bring me a pregnancy test and leave it in the bathroom. I wouldn't have been like, no, you're going to take this test in front of me. You're going to go. I did my daughter like that when she told me she was pregnant. I was like, girl, you ain't going to be telling me you pregnant. And here I am trying to figure it out and getting clothes for, because, you got a baby coming. If so, you got a baby. We need to start saving money because you're going to need a lot of stuff. You're going to need a crib. You're going to need, pacifier. You're going to need a baby carrier. You're going to need a baby car seat. You're going to need Pampers. You're going to need milk, formula. You're going to need diaper rash. You're going to need baby powder. You're going to need stuff to suck out the nose. You're going to need nail clippers. You're going to need all of this stuff. Now, if you start getting it early or having a baby shower, you have a baby shower, you can get like 50% of the stuff. But my daughter didn't have a lot of friends. She only had like one friend. So to have a baby shower, she didn't get to have. But you know me, I had a credit card. I had $10,000 on this credit card. I had $10,000 credit. You know me, I racked it up. Yeah, I bought everything. Everything was like I think the thing was like Winnie the Pooh. It was like a line because we knew it was going to be a boy. So we went with Winnie the Pooh. It was a lime, kind of a not lime green, but a like a dusty green color, a light brown, a little bit of orange, just in case. Because sometimes they'll say that something is a boy, and then next thing you know, you have all this boyish looking stuff. But it was a girl. Let me see what you were saying. Hold on. So Nisi say she had a plan B, but it couldn't have not worked. But it could have not worked. No, plan B worked. He had a sneak around. He didn't even want to pay for the test. Nisi said he wasn't thinking about no baby prep. He looked up home abortion. Nisi, one of his other women was pregnant at the same time. Hold on. See, that's what we were talking about the other day. It depends when you take the plan B. Yeah, it does. She was like, she get a plan B. See, you guys, let me say this. Let me say this. How do you not know that wasn't Shannon talking? When she said you didn't have a problem buying a plan B. Hold on. That don't even really make sense, because it would have made sense for you to say you didn't have a problem buying a pregnancy test, but when you say you didn't have a problem buying a Plan B is more expensive than a pregnancy test. You can get a pregnancy test at Dollar Tree for $1.25, but a Plan B is going to be $35 to $50. So why would you say you didn't have a problem buying a Plan B? What do you mean? So, I don't believe she was pregnant. I just don't. I believe she wanted him to think she was pregnant, but I don't believe she was pregnant, you guys. And I'm just saying, and it's hard when you feel that way. But if she was pregnant, she wasn't my child. So, she would have a child right now and she would be a mother. So she got cheated out of that. But the way it sounds, if it was her talking, she didn't want to be a mom, which she's too young to be a mom anyway. She was a baby. You guys understand what I'm saying? She was a baby. She don't know nothing about motherhood. You guys understand? That's the last thing she's thinking about is, you can already tell that sometimes when she was on TikTok or doing her YouTube or whatever, she would have somebody's baby there laying in the bed and the baby be playing with her hair and she'd be holding somebody's baby. So you can tell she had a very caring heart. I'm going to tell you guys something. And this is just for the ones that believe that she was pregnant. I truly don't believe she was pregnant. I just don't. I just don't believe they even got enough evidence to prove or show that she was pregnant. They got some conversation about that, but we really don't know who wrote what. We really don't, because they're sharing a phone. And Shannon was acting like Shannon was acting like, it's all good, like she didn't really care what Jarvis was doing. Shannon was just happy that Jarvis was even dealing with her. I think what Shannon wanted was, like, Shannon was not the main woman. I try to tell y'all don't listen. Y'all do not listen to me. Y'all do not listen to me. Y'all argue with me. You be like, SP, you doesn't make no sense. I be like, really? I don't make no sense? No, what you've been listening to don't make no sense. If you just listen and be like, okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to listen to what she got to say. And let's just see if it comes out. And then when it comes out, y'all be like, I try to tell y'all. Everybody like, Shannon jealous. Shannon this. I'm not saying Shannon wasn't a jealous woman. I believe Shannon want Jarvis, she wanted to have all his babies. She wanted to be the main chick. Shannon was the side chick. The main chick is always living with the man. That's the main chick. That's the main woman right there. Whether it's your wife, your hubby, your partner, your lover, your side boo, whatever. The one that you're living with is the main chick. If you're not living with the chick, that's not your main chick. Your main chick is the one you're living with. I don't even know how to explain it. It is not that hard and complicated. The main chick is the one that you're living with. That's always been the main chick. That's the one you come home to. That's the one you lay down with every night or every other night or whenever you come home. That's the one that when she washes her clothes, she'll wash yours too. That's the one that you go to jail, they get you out. That way, when you come home, what you call home, whatever you call home, that's where your main chick lives. That's what you're going to take care of. That's where you're going to pay a bill. That's where you're going to sit down and eat your meal, your dinner. That's the main chick. Shannon was not the main chick. I couldn't say it no more than what I told y'all. Y'all wait till somebody else say it and then y'all go, SP told us Shannon wasn't the main chick. She got 5 kids. She got 5 kids. Somebody even wanted to holler and argue with me talking about SP. She didn't have 4 kids. She got 5 kids. She only had 4 when NaZiyah came up missing. She did not have 5 kids at that time. Not that I know of. And everybody say, that's the reason why he killed her. That's the reason why he killed her. I don't know. There's a reason why he called Shannon at 10:53. He called Shannon at 10:53. Shannon acting like she's stupid. Shannon acting like she dumb. She didn't know where he lived at. She only knew because NaZiyah asked her what was Belford and whatever street that was. That's the only way she knew she had picked him up on the corner. These chicks are something else. These chicks are something else. Happy Mother's Day to you, Constant. These chicks are something else. They be acting like, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I didn't know this. And then the one gonna come in there. I was his fiance. Girl, please. This man got 13 women. This man got 13 women. He sure can put a baby in him. Girl, he puts it down, don't he? Shoot. I think he just come really quick. You know? And I think he wanted to get good at it. But somebody gave it to him so good that he couldn't resist it no more. And I'm going to tell you something. That probably got to do with that older woman. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. That older woman messing around with a young man trying to teach him what he needs to do. He was all messed up. And you got to think, okay, I'm going to say this. So where was Jarvis' mother at? She either was dead or she was on drugs. It's one or the other. You know? Because his grandmother raised him. You know? And normally when grandmothers raise a child, either 2 things happen. The mother is already dead or she's on drugs. You see what I'm saying? So if Jarvis' mother was on drugs, like NaZiyah's mother was on drugs, they had something in common. You know? And so Jarvis was probably treating her like the way he got treated. The funny thing about the whole situation, you guys. Hey, Monique, how you doing? Hey, Leisure, what's going on? I see you in the building. She said, I think Annette didn't want to know the crimes in that house. Annette knew. Trust me. Annette knew, but those are that's family secrets. Family secrets, you guys. That'll be our next topic. Somebody else will probably take it and be sitting over there smiling and grinning. That's fine. What's for them is for them, and what's over here for us is for us. So it's no big deal. My mama told me that my daddy said we were not his and she was married to him. Well, you know, some men don't really know how to really express themselves because even though I married this man, none of my kids are by him. And at first he would tell people those are her kids, but we're married. And I look at him crazy and be like, don't say it like that. Don't do that because you're putting me like down. Just if you want to say they're your stepkids, say that. But don't say that she got kids and I don't. That's like me saying you got a mother, but I don't. But here I am buying Mother Day gift every year. This year, I didn't do it. I didn't do it, you guys. I'm just telling you the truth. I didn't do it. I didn't think about doing it. And I do feel a little bit sad about it, but I didn't do it. Jarvis's mom looked like Lady's twin. Oh, you think so? Jarvis's mom? Okay, Leisure, here's a question. Is Jarvis' mother still alive? Is Jarvis' mom still alive? Where's she at? Same drug. I know. She's small, skinny. Is she alive? She said, I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know either. I know her name. Hey, Olivia, how you doing? Happy Mother's Day to you. Yeah, I know her name, but it's sometimes it's good to sit back and I don't make the rules of this game. I just don't. And when I say a game, I say a game because you can do things right and slept together in the same bed. He had an injury. The reason he didn't believe or think so, God surprised him with 3 of us. Y'all, I don't know. I just think if she was pregnant and she would be a mom, if she was, and I don't know if she was, I don't believe she was, but if she was pregnant and she was a mother, I was thinking today, because I say, you could be wrong, SP. You really could be wrong thinking that this girl really was not pregnant, because I just don't believe she was. I just don't believe she was. And I'm not saying I'm right, but I just don't believe she was. But if she was, then some people be like, well, if she was pregnant, why are they not charging him with another murder? Some people would say, well, they're only charging him with the murder of her. First of all, you have to show proof that she was pregnant. Can you show proof she was pregnant? You can show proof that there was some conversation about pregnancy, but can you show proof she was pregnant? Now, if they would have been able to show proof she was pregnant, they would have said it by the DNA. They didn't say that. I'm not saying that they didn't have to say that. They could have asked those questions, but they didn't. But the prosecutor, knowing that this is a preliminary, ain't gonna put out everything. They ain't gonna say we her DNA shows she was pregnant. He knew she was pregnant. the DNA shows that she has the chemicals in her body. There's a chemical, like when a woman is pregnant, your blood changes from, it doesn't change from A to B or B to O. It don't change like that. But there's certain chemicals in your body that when a woman is pregnant, her blood changes and it has certain chemicals. Let me try to read it to you. You guys, I can't explain it. I haven't taken this class in like 20 years ago. So I just can't explain it to you. But let me look it up. Let me look it up. And then maybe you guys can understand what I'm trying to say here. When a woman is pregnant, how do her blood changes? It says, during a pregnancy, a woman's blood undergoes significant changes to support the growing fetus. These changes primary involves an increase in blood volume, primary plasma volume, and a decrease in the concentration of the red blood cells. This leads to a diluted effect, which can result in physiologically anemia. The most prominent change is an increase in the blood volume, which can reach up to 50%. This increase is primarily due to an expansion of plasma volume. That's not what I'm looking for. The red blood cells increase the number of red blood cells, because if you got 50 white, you should have 50 red. When you have an increase in white blood cells, that's saying that you have an infection. There you go. Olivia Dunn came and said it. HCG will show up in the blood. Thank you, Olivia. My goodness, I was trying to get to it. I couldn't even remember what it was called. But you're right. It's the HCG. Oh my goodness, we got some really good people in here. Smart, educated people in here. Thank you. We got these people in here. Along with these changes, there can also be an increase in your white blood cell count. And due to the increased production and changes in the immune function, additionally, there may be a mild thrombopenis, decrease in the platelets and all this stuff. But yes, they will be able to tell by the blood if she was pregnant. So you guys, I want to ask this question. Why they didn't bring that up in court? Because they didn't have to. Because first of all, he's not on trial for a pregnant woman. Because guess what? They don't have to prove that she was pregnant. Because they're not saying you killed the baby. Because even if she was pregnant, it's not a viable pregnancy unless she was 20 weeks or more. Right, you guys? Anyway, your red cell mass rises proportionally to the need to carry the extra oxygen. How does your blood change when pregnant? What happens to your blood in early pregnancy? You might get some harmless light bleeding. This type of bleeding often happens around the time your period would have been due. I believe that they waiting for trial. Okay, and they could be waiting for trial. They really could. Thank you. See, you guys? See, I love when we can have a nice, educated conversation about things that, like, exactly, Olivia, exactly. I'm reading what Olivia said. She says, you guys can read it for yourself. I'll put it up there so for those of you who can't read that small writing. Okay. She said the blood stains are likely to contain degraded blood and other materials, making it difficult to accurately measure the HCG levels. Additionally, the amount of HCG in a blood stain is likely to be too small. Okay, so the HCG, let's look it up. HCG in the blood means what? So the HCG in the blood indicates pregnancy. It's a hormone produced by the placenta during pregnancy and can be detected in the blood around 10 to 11 days after conception. So if it's 10 to 11 days after you guys do the hucklebuck and the sperm meets the egg, and the sperm goes off into the egg, okay, guess what? 10, 11 days later, the HCG is in the female's blood. So why they didn't talk about the HCG in her blood? This is Mother's Day, you guys. We're talking about a baby. We're talking about a whole baby. Why? They could wait until trial. What's another reason why they didn't? Tell me, somebody in the chat, tell me why another reason they didn't talk about, they didn't ask the forensics. Was there HCG in the victim being NaZiyah Harris blood? Why was that not asked? Because I guarantee you in trial, prosecutors ain't going to bring it up. But I guarantee you the defense is going to bring it up and prove or show that she wasn't pregnant. And let me tell you something. If they ask the forensics, was there HCG in the NaZiyah's blood? They're going to say no. She said anything under 25 milliliters mean pregnancy, under 5 negative. Probably not enough to prove it. At trial, they may accept the text as proof. They're going to take but HCG can be detected in the blood or urine. It don't even have to be blood. It can be in your urine, they say, as early as 10 to 11 days. Blood tests for HCG are used to confirm pregnancy, especially in the early stages. Okay, measuring HCG levels over time can help assess how the pregnancy is progressing. 48 to 72 hours. Okay, in rare cases, high HCG levels can also be associated with certain types of tumors, such as germ cell tumors in men, or those kind of cancers or tumors in women. Yeah. How much HCG indicates pregnancy? In general, a baseline 5, taking approximately 12 to 14 days. 5 to 25. Anything over 25 milliliters. 12 to 14 days, except conception is considered positive for pregnancy. So, you guys, probably not enough to prove it. Well, you got to think. Anything over 11 to 14 days is going to be HCG in a woman's blood. It's going to be there. Because she was more than 11 to 14 days allegedly supposed to be pregnant. Olivia says, yes, the trial will bring it out. Yeah, we're going to see that. I'm telling you guys, she wasn't pregnant. But for the sake of the judge and having all your T's crossed, all your your I's dotted, because, the judge's going to say, okay, what's the motive? The motive was, and it was a really dumb motive. The motive was he didn't want nobody to know the secret about this girl was pregnant. That's the motive. Sometimes you really don't have to have no motive. But here's a case where you don't have nobody. If you don't have no body and don't have no motive, you're not going to get a conviction. You already don't have a body, period. So they're thinking, well, what was the motive? Well, they were talking about this baby, the 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 baby. Okay. Think about this. The first time he was going to court, he was going to court on January the 9th. That was the day he was supposed to get locked up. You guys understand? He was supposed to get locked up January the 9th, the same day she came up missing. And he talked to the judge. The judge, he was like, he got some unfinished business he got to do. Da-da-da-da-da. He came to court. And the judge probably told him, you knew you was going to get locked up. And he probably said, Your Honor, I got to do this. I don't know what he had to do, but he had something he had to do. And the judge said, okay, show back up next month. Gave him a chance. Gave him a chance, you know why? Because he showed up that day. Guess what? If he would have went to jail that day, January the 9th, NaZiyah would still be here. So I'm thinking, so he should have took NaZiyah out prior to January the 9th. If it was about a baby, because usually a judge do not let you go home after you done showed up, knowing that you got to turn yourself in and you got to do a year. You got to do a full year. And the judge is going to say, okay, I'm going to let you go ahead and handle your business. You was already out. You should have handled your business knowing that this is the court date that you were going to be sentenced, and you turn yourself in. So you guys see what I'm saying? Make it make sense. So he didn't go to court. No, he went to court January the 9th. The judge said, you know what? I'm going to give you 30 days to handle your business. And then you got to turn yourself in February the 7th. He left from court because remember, King said Jarvis left for a little bit. He was going to court. And then Jarvis came back. Jarvis came back, wasn't handling nothing. Jarvis came back and went to work. And I guess he probably said, and this could be true, he probably said, man, if they would have took me to court, yeah, woo, 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 woo. So now she texting him from school. Well, why you wouldn't have known he went to court? You texting him from school. Meet me over here. This was not the first time that they met at that bus stop. It wasn't the first time. You guys, he knew the bus stop. Cornwall, and 3 Mile. He knew where she get off the bus at. He knew. She wasn't the only one that got off the bus stop at that place right there. He knew because the other kid get off the bus stop there too. Same place. It's weird because they got off there, and here's the thing, because they changed where they moved. I'm going to tell you guys something that I tried to tell you guys, I shared with you. And it makes me mad sometimes. It really do. It makes me mad. We got 57 people in here. Make sure you guys share the live. I'm finna get off here. I'm not going to stay on long, but hit that thumbs up. She says, Olivia says, yes, I don't think she went home. Just my opinion. You don't may have to think she went home, but this is what I said, and that is your opinion. We took a little tour. We went. I showed you guys the bus stop. Other people showed you guys the bus stop also. I didn't know this. If some people may say you did the same thing, sometimes content creators, we do think alike. We may not agree on everything, but we think alike. Like, let's show them this, let's show them that, let's take this tour, let's take the route. But I showed y'all even where they lived at when they already moved. Everybody was like, I said she was going towards the house. Everybody was like, no, SP, she wasn't. She was going the other direction. I said, listen, y'all, I did not make this up. This is the new house. She was going that direction. She was. Now, had she went across the street, if we would have seen her across the street, we would say, guess what? She made it home. We did not see that part. But when she hit that corner and turned, that's where they caught somebody, and we don't know who it was. Was it NaZiyah or was it the other child? We don't know. NaZiyah was on the bus, and that's what NaZiyah was wearing. And if you really, really look, because I had to really go in there deeply and look, she was wearing that Rugrat little fuzzy collar. And I don't know where she got this coat from, this Rugrat coat from. It was like a 1 in a million, because I don't know nobody else that has this Rugrat coat. I mean, nobody. It wasn't famous for anything, but she must have found this Rugrat coat from Burlington's or Michael's or something, or Mitchell's. I'm sorry, I said Mitchell's. But I have not seen this Rugrat coat. People don't even wear it. But so it was like, I won't say a 1 in a million, but you know what I'm saying? It's not that common. It's not that common. It's not a nice together looking coat. You know what I'm saying? But she liked it. So but a lot of people described her as wearing this colorful jacket, The only thing that they're saying, because we seen her on the bus with that colorful jacket on, and then we seen her walking down the street with this colorful jacket. It may not look like that's the same jacket, but it is. So they say. But anyway, happy Mother's Day to you, Diane. Happy Mother's Day to you, Olivia. Happy Mother's Day, Freddie. Emma, happy Mother's Day to you. Probably finally said your name right. Top Flight to you. Happy Mother's Day to you. Energy, happy Mother's Day to you. JoJo, happy Mother's Day to you. Everybody in chat, happy Mother's Day to you. I don't know who that is. I don't know. Somebody in here talking about somebody wants to fight. I don't know. Leisure, happy Mother's Day to you. Monique, happy Mother's Day to you. Sanja Watts. Nisi, happy Mother's Day. Lisa Taylor, happy Mother's Day. Nisi. Constance, happy Mother's Day to you. Somebody like Milky Way Girl, happy Mother's Day to you. I don't even see half of these people. Shauna, happy Mother's Day to you. Woke the Guy, happy Mother's Day to you. I don't see. See, Rebecca, happy Mother's Day. C6 Banks, happy Mother's Day to you. Rebecca cries, happy Mother's Day to you. Anyway, happy Mother's Day to everybody. Yeah. So, this is a Mother's Day. I'm not feeling bad at all because I normally do not get my daughter anything for Mother's Day. Matter of fact, I bought her a card, you guys. I bought her a card. And you know. Yeah. Hold on, because she'll be coming in a minute. She'll be coming around the mountain in a minute. So, anywho's, so about the panty roses. Nisi, what are you talking about? I just read your comment. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, you guys, I told you guys, I was like, yeah, she was headed home. I don't know. Everybody be like, no. I'll be like, y'all tripping. Y'all straight tripping. Anywho, if she was pregnant, and I'm going to say this, and I'm saying it in a good way. If y'all don't believe me, trust me, I am saying it in a good way. Do I believe she was pregnant? No, I don't believe she was pregnant. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that this child was pregnant. I don't believe she was pregnant. I believe she wanted him to believe she was pregnant, or Shannon wanted him to believe she was pregnant. In any case, if he thought she was, because he could have wanted to get rid of whatever, if she was, but I doubt that's the case. I think because there has to be a reason. She said, I believe she's still alive. Oh, Top Flight says, you believe she's still alive. Okay. She said, I believe. And what DNA if they haven't found her body? What DNA if they haven't found her body? Well, they got her DNA on that jacket. But DNA, they said it was blood all over that jacket, the black jacket. Even if the shoes ain't the right shoes and the onesie really didn't have nothing on it, they got the earbuds. That's got her DNA on it because her earwax. Yep. They got some gloves there. I don't know what was on the gloves, but Happy Mother's Day to you too, Freddie Johnson. Freddie in the dark. But she could be still alive. That blood could have been cause she went in labor. Nah, too early to go to labor. If she went in labor, she lost that baby. The blood could have went. She could have threw up, you guys. She could have threw up, and the blood could have been from her period. She said, "See, why would he look up home abortions then, Niecy?" Niecy's like, "What, honey? There was other women in his life that was pregnant." And he could have been looking them up. He wasn't going to give her no $1,500 to get no abortion. If she was over 4 months, she couldn't go to no clinic anyway. JoJo say the blood came from Annette's freezer, maybe. Y'all really think let me say this. Do you guys really think Annette put this child's blood in her freezer? JoJo, I'm talking to JoJo right now. The blood, JoJo put in the comment section, the blood came from Annette's freezer, maybe. Y'all hate these people that much. Y'all just say. She said, I really think Annette has a bio freezer. Why? Because she bought a used freezer. She didn't. You think this woman had, why that freezer there? Because she had a freezer. You buy a cheap, she had more than one. You know, her brother, what's his name? Travera or whatever his name is. He said that they had more than one. And CPS came to the house. She could put a lock on whatever refrigerator or whatever she wanted. Maybe, you got them girls coming in and coming out, and then you got crackheads. They stealing her food. She come home, she done bought $200 worth of meat. She come home and she only got a hot dog in there. What do? You can't leave your house. You got to lock up your freezer. She said, I don't believe. Nah. Niecy said, I don't believe anything is in that freezer. You guys, even if they told y'all, you wouldn't believe what they say. You would have more questions, more. She said, now it's more to it with that freezer. For real, for real. JoJo. Y'all like conspiracy theories. That don't even make sense for her to have NaZiyah's blood in her freezer. For real. She said, okay, SP, it's what I believe, but yeah, NaZiyah alive in that freezer is weird. I'm not, JoJo, we're just conversating. Don't get mad. I'm just talking to you. I'm just like, are you really seriously believe that Annette would put NaZiyah's blood in a freezer? I mean, yeah, I'm not mad at you either. I'm just like, you know what I believe? I believe that you know what? I believe that you guys are so mad. You guys are so mad at Annette and Shannon and Marquita, and Roxy, and Janelle, and Kiki, or whatever her name is, whatever. Y'all I'm gonna be honest with you. I think y'all just mad at the whole family. And I don't blame you. You can be mad at the whole family. First of all, Roxy wasn't there. So whatever Roxy's doing. Marquita wasn't there. But Marquita is the twin to Shannon. So y'all just mad at her because she's a twin. And they look alike. And they was born at the same time. They got the same mama, the same daddy. They lived in the same embryo. She said, yes, I'm serious. She not right. And yes, Annette cover her in any way. I believe Annette would. I believe Annette would cover up for Shannon. But if y'all stick to the main people, Shannon and Annette, Jarvis, and King. If we focus on those four, that's where the answer is at. But, talking to Marquita sitting there talking about a boyfriend, and they argue, they fight. Nah. Talking to Roxy about going, Roxy, I'm going to tell you something about Roxy. And y'all can get mad at me all you want. Roxy don't know nothing. Roxy knows as much as we know. That's all Roxy know. Roxy don't know nothing. Why get mad at Roxy? She doing the best she could do. Whether she make a nickel, a quarter, a dime, I just don't see it with Roxy. I don't even see it with Marquita. Then Marquita just looks like Shannon to me. They both look the same. Shannon's not a really nice looking female. She's just not, you know what I'm saying? Shannon's not bad. She's not ugly, but she ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? She's not bad. She's just a female. I just can't. Now, I'm not saying we all don't have times in our lives where we look not our greatest. And then we got times when we look really good. When Shannon got on the stand, Shannon didn't look bad. She didn't look bad. She just, her hair was long, looked pretty, and, I'm not saying she's fine or cute. Like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she all right. She's just a woman. I don't know. She says, I did my own research and I feel in my heart, I'm not mad at them. I just see through them and they're all lying, working together. You could be right about that. I think. Hello. Hey.
Hey, I'm on the way.
All right, I'm waiting on you.
Okay, cool. I'll be there in a sec.
Okay.
Bye, I love you.
I love you. JoJo says she did her own research, and I feel in my heart I'm not mad at them. I just see through them, and they all lying, working together. I think Shannon and Annette is lying about something. JoJo, I'm with you on that. But I think Marquita would know because it's probably been shared with Marquita. But is Marquita a part of it? I believe she's a part of, as far as saying that they had this good life. Their mother is a good woman. She raised a whole bunch of kids. I believe she did. She raised them for the money. She didn't raise them for the love. And I don't think she did a good job. I think she raised a lot of kids. And I think they all was in bad situations. It's all that kind of a rat race type of family. Like, they survived. Some of them, a lot of them ran away. A lot of them grew up and they were on drugs. They had bad choices. Now, she said nieces. Roxy don't know anything. I'm not mad at her. Okay. I just see the BS. Why say your niece to virus and we know they talked about NaZiyah being given a pregnancy test by Shannon. No, cause Quitter ain't like that. Shannon may have knew Jarvis did that to Quitter's baby and not talked about it. So you think Jarvis did something to Marquita's baby? You think Jarvis did something to Marquita's baby? I beg to differ. I think Marquita's baby was not attractive. I don't think Jarvis was attracted to. She said JoJo said he did. She the one was in court. JoJo, why do you say she was the one in court? Okay, there you go. No. She said, oh my God, her dad went live. Marquita's baby well, let me share this with you. Okay? She said, oh my God, her dad went live. Marquita's baby is 9. She probably seen some stuff and he tried some stuff with her. But he didn't do anything to her. The 2 he did something to, one was a 4-year-old child that had caught chlamydia. And the other child is now 20. That's not Marquita's baby. Now, I'm not saying he didn't try to do something with this child. And this child said no. Quita baby said he tried. I said muley bad on that part, love. Okay. So we're all on the same page, right? And I'm just so glad you're not saying ma'am. JoJo, we're all on the same page. She still went to court and her dad tried to fight him in court. Her dad tried to fight who in court? So she still went to court and her dad tried to fight him in court. Jarvis. Because he tried. See, he tried to do something to Marquita's baby, but and you know what? I'm gonna say this. You are more than right. And I'm not trying to water what you're saying down. And I'm the reason why I'm saying that is because even if he did do something or try to do something or he touched, I don't believe the child will tell everything or they get the child mixed up. You understand what I'm saying? So I believe what you're saying, but as far as what was said in court, that we were just getting the facts on that straight. That she was the one that was saying something about she seen them, she seen NaZiyah on top and things of that nature. And here's the thing, with him being around all those girls, I believe he did touch Marquita's child. I don't believe Marquita's child told them that, though. I don't believe she told them that. I believe that she's like gonna help her mom defend, like he didn't touch me, he tried. I said I wanted to go home. I seen him do it, and why you didn't tell? So If you knew and you seen it, why y'all not mad at Marquita? Because what, did you not tell your mama that you seen NaZiyah humping this grown man, and this grown man humping NaZiyah? Like, you didn't tell your mama? Why would you not tell your mama that this grown man is having sex with your cousin? And if you did tell your mama, what did your mama do? Whoop you? Because that's where that comes in at. Okay? So when everybody's all happy and talking about Marquita and her boyfriend and if they should be together and stuff, why you not asking the question about Marquita? If your child told you that this man was having sex with her cousin, why still bring your kids over there? See, people want to get all loud. I'm going to get him the business. I'm going to get him the business. That's my sister. Ain't nothing like that going on. Oh, no. That's a woman taking the man's spot. I always do. Yes, ma'am, I always wheeze. I have a big problem. Freddie says, I'm still here listening. Everyone be kind. Yeah. You're going to hear me wheezing all the time. Baby daddy said Quita ain't listening to her daughter. She should have been. She should have been. And then what? I'm still here listening. Exactly. Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, like, Marquita daughter didn't just come up in the courtroom and just be like, hey, I need to say this. I need to say that. Which is why what? Hold on. She said, which is why her dad has custody now. Yeah, because he had custody of the girl. Well, you know. Hey, sugar mama, how you doing? Yeah. So anyway, that right there, Marquita's daughter that's going to be a nail in the coffin. Marquita's daughter and this other child, these other two children's mother, that's all they need to put him away. They really don't need a body. They don't need any. They just know for a fact that they needed to get him off the streets. And whether they can, because here's the thing, if Marquita's daughter told them that, which I believe she did, she told her that second Quita first. She ain't listened to the baby for real. She told daddy second. Yeah. I believe, JoJo, you're right. I believe you. I believe you 100%. You got the facts on that. And that is true. Exactly. But if he did touch her in some kind of shape, form, or fashion, she definitely ain't going to say it now. She'll wait till she get grown. And then once she gets grown, she gonna have a reason why she didn't say it. She gonna say, well, I didn't want to get in trouble. I got scared. Because think about it. NaZiyah's gone. You know what I'm saying? Would you want to tell the truth? If your cousin come up gone, missing, dead, or deceased, and everything, would you want to go and say, yeah, such and such? You don't know if it's grandma. You don't know if he's going to get out or anything. You don't know. I would be like, long as I'm living with my daddy, you never know if daddy going to keep you. And I think she's in the best place. Now, you know, I always think that the children should stay with the mama, especially the girls. But in this case, I believe that these women, they have been raised the way they raised. Of course, the way you've been raised, you're going to think it's right. You're going to think it's the best life and everything. You just going to. You're going to think nothing was wrong with the way your upbringing is. Whether it was harsh, being cussed at, argumentative, having men over, going to the party, going to the clubs. You're going to turn your cheeks on a lot of stuff. And I'm going to say one thing. I don't care how many times you guys talk to these people. They're not going to tell you everything that went on in that house. They're just not. Because guess what? They can go to jail themselves, knowing what they know. You think they're going to sit there and say, yeah, you know, one time I seen him touch, you know, Jerica. And then I do remember him changing Philippia's drawers and such, and then they went to the bathroom together, and she said my pee-pee hurt. They're not going to tell you all of that. Oh, they showed up at the park. He took them to a ride, and then the baby came back crying. And they're not going to tell you all of that. They're going to act like everything's good. Like we had a good life. My mother raised all of us. There was nothing wrong with our childhood. It wasn't none of this going on. Wasn't none of that going on. But okay, did you date Jarvis first? Yeah. And then how'd your sister end up with him? You mean to tell me all you women are so naive you don't understand them, but you think you're smarter than a box of rocks sitting there just, where's your baby's daddy? You're having all these kids. Where's the baby's daddy? Where's the baby's daddy? And sometimes, you guys, these women, not only these women, us, have kids by no good men. Period. And they really don't need to be in the child's life. And now you're stuck. Or you're probably the better parent, so you believe. Because they're doing whatever I don't sit back and judge a woman because she's got kids and the men is not around. I don't judge women for that. Hey, Wendy, how you doing? So you know what I'm saying? It's all good. These women, though, have, it seems to me, put the men first. They put the men first. They're more interested in their relationship. She said, and they both slept with DeAndre. I don't know. You know. He seemed like he's a pretty nice guy. He seemed like he's a really nice guy. And if they lose a nice guy like that, you know, and I think he just wants to be a man. He's a man. He wants to be a man. He's a man. You know. I never had a sister where I had to share who I slept with and who I didn't. But there's a lot of people, sometimes some of these women, sometimes your daughter will compete with you. I'm just saying. Y'all think that's a bad thing because two sisters done slept with the same man? That ain't nothing. Daughters will sleep with your man too. Shit. That's just how women are. Women didn't used to be like that, but they are now. Huh. I always want to be seen. I'm going to tell you guys something. My daughter's on her way over here. But, I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know why I have to eat ice, but yeah, I don't know why they think that's cute, but they do. But I had this older woman tell me, she said, SP, she said, I don't trust no women. I said, girl, you crazy. I said, what is wrong with you? You jealous of your own kids? She said, no. She says, I don't trust no woman around my man because they want to be seen. They want that attention. You can give them all the attention in the world. And another woman, she may say all day long, I ain't interested. I got a man or da-da-da-da-da. But when they want to come over to your house, they want to look all fresh and clean. They want to look good, picking up stuff that ain't even on the ground. They want to tell you what they done cooked and how they done cleaned the house all day. And then their car is all clean. They got all the time in the world and everything. And you done went to work and hustled. And you tired. You can't even get your hair done. Your nails all broken off or whatever. And then they sitting up there in your house like, yeah, sit down and just talk to me. Something like that. She said, SP, don't let women in your house. And at first, I thought she was really crazy. I said, girl, I looked at her. And I had disgust in my heart. I didn't tell her that, but I had disgust in my heart. So one day, I was driving by her house because she lived on Main Street. I was driving by her house and I seen a car over there that I did not know. And I said, oh, this chick probably got some company. Let me go see if she's about her business. I pulled up, knocked on the door, knock, knock, knock. She didn't answer. Knock, knock, knock. Knowing she there. Her car there, and then the car is behind her car. Knock, knock, knock. No answer. I went on about my business. Got home, did what I had to do. I said, girl, I came by. She said, I know it. I said, what you mean you know it? She said, girl, I seen you out there knocking. I said, what? She said, I told you. I don't let no woman around my man when he come over. I said, this fool here, she crazy. But then I got to thinking about what she said. I said, you know what? She's something else. But she's right. Why is she right? Because I was being nosy. I didn't want a man or nothing like that. But I was being nosy. But I wanted to see, was it true? Not to be nosy, just to see was she about her business. If what she's saying to me is how she really handled women. That's the way she handled women. From that day on, I got to watching her move and things. Even when her kid is she had a young lady, she had a daughter. I think her daughter was like 16, 18. She would tell her daughter, move around when a man come over. Oh, you're not just sitting up in the living room with us watching TV. When he comes over, you get up and go do what you got to go do. She said, I don't need no third wheel. I was like, girl, this man is out there in the world all day long. She was like, yeah, out there, he can do whatever he want to do. But what he over here visiting me is for me. I said, girl, you crazy. She said, girl, I done chased men from trying to take my daughter out my hand. Shot a man. Shot another man for hitting on her. Went to court, to jail, and court about it. She got off because it was, I guess, self-defense or whatever. But the other man didn't even report it. But yeah, he tried to take her child. This baby was in a carrier. She said, these men out here is sick. But she love a man. So she's still going to date a man. But she said, you cannot have these men around these girls. You cannot do it. You know? And that settles that. It do. Anyway. Marquita and Shannon, they probably are having sex with the same man because one want to see if I can get him or whatever, or show that you didn't get nothing good. You know? See, Wendy says, my next door neighbor always smiling, styling, profiling, and wearing them ugly jeggings. Yeah. I had a girlfriend as soon as I got married. She would never come over to my house. Would never come. We lived 2 blocks from each other. She moved all the way to Texas. I told her, I said, I need you to come be in my wedding. She came to my wedding all the way from Texas. As soon as we got married, she wanted to come over my house every day. And guess what? She was styling and profiling when she came. Hair done, nails done, everything was done. Car all cleaned and everything. And she said, I said, come on, girl, let's go here. She was like, no, we're just going to sit at your house. What you mean? And she sat there until my husband got home. Hey, how you doing, mister? Haven't seen you in a while. Woo, 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 woo. He comes in, he say hi, and he goes to the bedroom. She like, I'll see you next week. Girl, if you don't stop coming over to my house, I quit. I wouldn't even answer the door. She quit coming. Because my girlfriend told me, you cannot do that. She said, if I got to watch my partner that close, we don't need to be together. If I can't trust my partner around my friends, then I don't need to be with them. I don't trust no man around my girls, none. Well, it's like this. I'm not saying I don't trust my partner or whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the females that you know have not been around when you were single. Now here they come around when you're not single. That was the problem. See what I'm saying? You didn't come around me when I was single and I was over here and doing my yard by myself and painting the house by myself. As soon as I get some help over here to paint the house or the garage or the barn, or I got a man in the house that's, laying pipe, putting down, painting, whatever, putting in windows, taking the trash out. Now here you come. You may not ever believe that's what type of female you are, but here you come. That's what I seen. Water in the grass, out there watering the grass. Hey, hi, could you move this bucket over for me? Hey, hello. So I just started seeing that, it may not be for all the females or like that, but it's like this. As a nurse, when we have a patient that comes in for admissions and we have to do an assessment, we don't walk in that room without gloves on. We look at everybody like they are infected, just like you should do when you're looking and getting into a relationship. You don't go, oh, this is a man, he looks like a man, or he act like a man, or this is a woman and she act like a woman, or whatever. Oh, and when we make love, or when we get down, when we get into it, oh, it's all good. I'm gonna get it, whatever. No, you gotta treat that person just like they effective. They affected with the virus. You put your gloves on, you put, your glove on. You guys understand what I'm saying? And then you do whatever. And you keep it like that for a while. Because you sit there, oh, we together. Oh, I gotta treat you like I can't I'm just being honest. I'm just trying to tell y'all, like, I don't know what you think it's supposed to look like. Wendy say went to church today in a mini dress above the thigh. She said, I know those men was struggling, including mine. Girl, they do what they do. They do what they do. But and a man gonna struggle. You can't even get mad at somebody that just because they look good or they young or whatever, and everything is still up north. It is what it is. We can't stay young forever and can't get mad for the ones that done got young. I mean, that's young. You done lived your life. That's why I said, when you was younger and mama told you not to wear those mini skirts, what did you do? You wore them. You wore them anyway. They told you not to wear those type of skirts and leggings or whatever, or those tight jeans. You wore them though, didn't you? You didn't just have on your long dress all the way to the floor. You did not. You was like, what's wrong with it? Like, what's wrong with it? You didn't see nothing wrong with wearing short shorts. You didn't see nothing wrong with wearing a skirt, dress, short dress, skirt, a squirt, or whatever you want to call it, a scorch. You didn't see nothing wrong with it. Other women did. Because they know that it probably attracted men. And maybe not in the right way. Everybody wants to wear what they want to wear. NaZiyah was wearing what she wanted to wear. It didn't matter how old she was. She was wearing shorts. She bounced up and down in front of the cameras and stuff. She danced. Everybody was like, she was just dancing. She was just dancing, SP. God, why are you talking about the girl so bad? I'm not. I'm just telling you. When you're pouncing at the camera like that and huckling the bucket and you shaking your taco and you're hunching the air and throwing it in their face and all that other stuff, like, they should have been telling her to not do that, or, not letting her get in front of the camera doing that. Because there's somebody around you watching, and they're thinking, you're saying, hey, I got the good stuff over here. I'm just saying, you guys, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't care if it hurts. It's the truth. And people get mad all day, every day. OSP, you just old. And you know what? It's crazy. Them scandalous females. What the guy says, I get that part. Protecting is a must initially, but if I can't trust my partner around a scandalous female or male, whatever, then I don't need to be with them. Well, you got some faithful people, but you know, you open the door to, we're just talking about the kids here, like letting them kids be around grown men. See, everybody in agreement with that. Okay, we're not really just not talking about that. That is a sidebar. That is like the side of your entree. Okay, we're talking about not even teenagers, because she was 12 at the time. She wasn't 13. She was 12 at the time. And then there was a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old. I think she was 9. So you got a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old with 2 men in a truck. 2 men in a truck. Do you know that in the state, I think it's in Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas, it's against the law that to ride in a truck in the back with sheep? You know, that's a law. That's a law that they have not changed since slavery time. That it is against the law for you to ride in the back of a truck with a sheep. Hold on. That's how stupid. Sounds stupid, don't it? But it's a law. Go look it up. Okay? But you got 2 grown men and a female in a truck. Enough is said. That's why you can't tell me that King was not involved. We got laws out here that you can't even ride in the back in a truck with a sheep, let alone a little girl. Y'all think I'm lying. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to pull it up. I don't know if I'm going to pull it up because my daughter's going to get here. She called me 20 minutes ago. What is the law riding in the back of the truck with a sheep? Let me see. I don't think. How do you transport sheep in a truck? Let me see. Ensure the truck bed is clean, free of debris, provided a portable livestock hauler can be used in the back of a pickup truck to keep the sheep contained. A portable livestock hauler. So you have to be, let me see. Happy Mother's Day, Pandora. Is there a law about riding in the back of the truck with sheep? In Wichita, Kansas, there are generally no specific laws prohibiting riding in the back of the truck with the sheep or the animal. As long as the vehicle is not on the highway, you cannot ride in the back of the truck. The sheep has to be transported, livestock, with a livestocker. There are specific laws about transporting the animal on the road in the back with the sheep, partially if they are being transported for transport, which may include regulations about how they are secured. So generally, the Kansas law states that people over 14 can generally ride in the truck bed, but those under 14 can ride for parades work. That's only. These laws generally apply animal transport. I can't find it right now, you guys. Where there are generally laws regarding passengers transporting, there are specific laws about how livestock are transported with, such as with regulations about securing the livestock within the truck bed. I can't find it right now. Kansas City accident injured specific animals, or I can't find it right now. Okay, here, let me see this one. Maybe this is it right here. It says, this California law prohibits any person from transporting any animals in the open back of a vehicle on a highway. So it's no person driving a motor vehicle should transport any animal in the back of the vehicle in a space indicated for any loads. Wow. Okay, that's talking about transporting. Anyway, I was just trying to find it. I can't find it. 2 men in a truck law. I just wanted to see something. So the 2 men in the truck, they are prohibited from transporting certain items like live animals, flammable liquids, and things. Okay. Anyway, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. And Shannon's sharing the phone with her. She should have taught her. They know. I get that part. Protecting is the most initially, but I can't trust my partner. Okay, and Shannon's sharing the phone with her. She should have taught her. As far as that baby dancing, she should be allowed to be a kid. It's the undesirable people that they had around the kids that was the problem. True. Happy Mother's Day to all. To all, a happy Mother's Day. Yeah, she was doing the kids dance and things like that. She was. I must say she was happy doing her dance, and that probably was the only way she could just get away from them is dance, But there was people around her that was like, and they was really close. They were around her. You never know. My daughter, at one time I told her her father gave her a phone. And I didn't like him giving her a phone because she was doing good in school and it would distract her. And I was fighting this phone. And every time I turned around, he was making sure she had a phone. She was getting in trouble. She wasn't doing her homework. I'll do my homework. Could I be on the phone for 30 minutes? Can I be on the phone until 9 o'clock? What? The phone was a problem. I was like, golly. Every time I got rid of her phone, he would bring her another phone. Like he just wanted her to have a phone. So the agreement was, the law over here in this house was at 9 o'clock, put the phone up. Make sure your homework is done. Make sure you're ready for school tomorrow. Make sure you brush your teeth. You took your bath. You got your clothes laid out for tomorrow. Whatever. Your homework done. Everything is done. At 9 o'clock, no more phone calls. Talk all you want until 9 o'clock. So you can be on the phone from the time you get home, 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. You got 6 hours of phone time. My daughter's here. Come on. I gotta go, you guys. I gotta go.